Some people write messages they never sent. They type every word carefully, they read it again. They even fix the punctuation. And then, they delete the whole thing. Not because the words were wrong, but because sending them would change something forever. There is a man who has rewritten the same message for 3 years. It always begins the same way. I've been meaning to say this for a long time. Sometimes the message is short. Sometimes it becomes 3 full paragraphs. Sometimes he adds things he never said when he had the chance, apologies, explanations, truths that only make sense now. But every version ends the same way, with his thumb hovering above the send button. And a silence that feels heavier than the words. Because some conversations don't stay conversations, they become turning points. Pause for a moment, think about it honestly. Have you ever written something you were too afraid to send, not because you didn't mean it, but because you knew life might never feel the same after? He tells himself it's not the right time. That's the excuse he uses most. Not today, maybe tomorrow. Maybe when things feel clearer. But clarity rarely arrives the way we imagine. Most of the time, clarity shows up disguised as regret. The message is meant for someone who used to know him better than anyone. Years ago, they spoke every day. There were inside jokes, late-night conversations, plans about places they would visit someday, and the strange comfort of knowing someone understood the parts of you that the world usually ignores. But life is quiet about how it changes people. One disagreement becomes distance, distance becomes silence, and silence slowly becomes normal, not painful, just unfamiliar. Like walking past a house you once lived in. You recognize it, but it no longer belongs to you. So he writes the message, again, and again, and again. Some versions are brave. I should have told you the truth back then. Some versions are careful. I hope you're doing well, and some versions are painfully honest. I think about that day more than I admit, but every time the moment arrives, his mind starts asking questions. What if they never reply? What if they do reply? But the person on the other side has already moved on. What if reopening the conversation only reminds them why it ended, or worse? What if the message reveals something about him he hasn't fully accepted yet? Because sometimes we delay difficult conversations not to protect others. And so the message stays unfinished, sitting quietly inside the phone, waiting for a moment that feels safe enough. Sometimes he scrolls up through their old messages. Years of conversations, laughter trapped in old screenshots, plans that now belong to a past version of both of them. And he realizes something strange. Back then, speaking felt effortless. Now, saying a single sentence feels like stepping onto thin ice. Because time changes more than relationships, it changes identity. The person who wants to send the message today is not the same person who needed to send it years ago. And that realization brings a quiet discomfort. Because maybe the message isn't really about the past. Maybe it's about closure, maybe it's about honesty, or maybe it's about accepting that some unfinished things stay unfinished for a reason. But one night something unexpected happens. He opens the message again, reads it slowly, and suddenly notices something he never saw before. The message isn't actually about the other person, not really. Every version of the message says something different. But all of them are trying to answer the same question. Who was I when I let that moment pass? Because unfinished stories often trap us in the version of ourselves that made the mistake. Not the person we have become since. The message is not waiting to be sent. It is waiting to be understood, so he closes the message. Not with fear, not with relief, just with a quiet awareness. Some words exist to change the future. Others exist to help us make peace with the past. And sometimes the most important message you write is the one that finally helps you understand yourself. Because unfinished stories don't always stay unfinished because we are afraid to finish them. Sometimes, they remain open so we can grow beyond the person who started them. And one day you realize something quietly powerful. The message you never sent already changed you.